Hi there, welcome back to Burton Waters Boat Sales here in Lincoln and to one of our latest listings, this time a Bavaria 29 Sport. Before we show you on the boat, we can just ask you to remind you to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you've not done so already. That'd be most appreciated. So this boat here is a 2006 built boat and overall nicely presented. We've actually sold this boat a couple of times in the past, so we know it quite well, and it's been moored here on the marina for the last few years. So if we have a look on board, so you've got the full Bimini that's in place at the moment, and you have got the full enclosure as well, which is off at the moment. So it encloses that area when you need it to. The boat was actually had a full cut and polish during the summer. And I've got to say the hull is in excellent condition. No sort of major gouges or anything along those lines. And the bottom was anti-fouled at the same time as well. It's nice and easy to get around. You've got a decent enough side deck on both sides. So access up to the bow is nice and easy. It comes with all the fenders and lines as well. And then before we go into the cockpit now, you've got Teak on the bathing platform, which also runs through the cockpit floor as well. Your swimming ladder's underneath in the middle, and you've got this handy fender storage on the back as well. You've got a really nice entertaining space in the cockpit, and you've actually got this backrest here, which moves forward, which is doesn't move forward. It's the cockpit now. You've got the U-shaped seating in here. Upholstery's in nice condition actually. It's the original upholstery, but it's really nicely presented. And then of course you've got your table as well. On the starboard side you've got your wet bar. So beneath the counter you've got a little drinks fridge. And then just beneath here you've got a sink as well, just with some cold water to rinse your glasses. So if we move on to the forward area of the cockpit, so on your port side, you've got a little seat where you can squeeze a couple of people for when you're underway. And if we move on to your helm position, it's actually a nicely appointed helm position. So first of all, your throttle controls fall nicely to hand, and you've got this sort of carbon effect steering wheel as well, which is quite nice. You've got a Garmin GPS map 292, and you've got obviously your all important bow thruster as well. One of the nice features of this helm position actually is you've got this control panel here, which is quite clear and concise in terms of what's on there, and it's easy to operate your lights and your horn and your windlass, etc., all from there. It's also a VHF fitted just beneath the helm as well. This boat's fitted with the Volvo Penta D3 160 horsepower diesel engines, and the engine hours are about 450. Okay, bringing you down below now on the Bavaria 29 Sport. I've got to say it's a nice place to be down here. So obviously you've got your saloon area up the front, and this area of course converts to a double berth with your table dropping down and some cushions to go on the top to make it into a really good sized berth. And beneath the seats you've got storage as well, and this one's got the sort of a cream leather leatherette, shall we say, which is quite nice. It's in good condition, and I say nice and comfortable to be down here. You've got tons of storage down here, so as I mentioned, you've got the storage beneath the seats, and you've also got the overhead lockers as well, and then there's a TV fitted as well. It's lovely and light down here. You've got this light wood. Obviously you've got a big opening hatch overhead, but so lovely and light down here. Onto your galley, you've got a quite nicely appointed galley, and again tons of storage. You've got your fridge beneath the counter, and then you've got your 2-burner hob as well. So this is a 240 hob, but it's also an alcohol hob as well for when you're underway. And then you've got your sink with hot and cold water. In the forward section around the saloon you've got carpets, and in the galley area you've got this nice teak and holly effect flooring, which is in lovely condition. You have got your separate door to your aft cabin, so Finn shows you into there. There's a bit of standing headroom at the end of the bed. I'm 6'2", you can just about stand up in there. And in there you've got a really good sized double berth and a little seating area over the far side as well. And again you've got tons of storage in there for an aft cabin. There's loads of bits and pieces, so if you were spending a week on board, it's so there's no shortage of storage. If we move on to your heads, so the boat's fitted with a Jabsco toilet that goes into a holding tank, and then of course you've got your sink as well. Again, a bit of storage in there, and the tap does pull out and hooks up onto the wall to act as a shower when needed. As I mentioned, tons of storage, and then there's also some more around the galley area as well. So say if you're spending a week on here, you've got plenty of places to put bits and pieces. So the engine bay hatch on the Bavaria 29 is an electric lift, which is nice and convenient. And one of the big beauties of that is it gives you a massive opening on the engine bay. There's a huge amount of space to work down there. So in front of the engines, as if you're doing your service work or anything along those lines, there's tons of space. So as I mentioned earlier, the boat's fitted with a pair of Volvo Penta D3 160 horsepower diesel engines. The engine hours are about 450, and they're clean and they're tidy down there. Thanks for watching this video on the Bavaria 29 Sport. If you'd like to come and take a look, we're open 7 days a week, and this boat's priced at $47,950, which I think is very good value for a 2006 twin diesel boat. And yeah, any questions, please feel free to call us.